Hey guys, my name is Tony Wash. I am the president of Scotchworthy Productions out of Chicago. We are the creators of Skeletons in the Closet and The Rake, the two films that Bobby is reviewing on his episode today. Really looking forward to hearing what he has to say about the movies, and really appreciate him taking the time to introduce his audiences to our films. If you're a fan of horror films like I am, you are definitely going to get a kick out of these movies. The Rake is more of your supernatural kind of psychological thriller monster movie. I always compare it to if Candyman was a werewolf. It is very dark and ominous and moody, really atmospheric, has really great cinematography and practical special effects work, including the monster in the film, which I highly recommend. At the very least you check it out for that, if nothing else. And Skeletons in the Closet's a lot of fun. It's an 80s style horror anthology, unlike any other anthology you've ever seen. It basically takes the concept of as if Tales from the Crypt Keeper was married to Elvira, and she's the reason that he's dead, and they hang out together and watch movies on their show, of which this little girl in the poster, Jamie, is their #1 fan and is kind of watching the show one night with them as they watch a movie, and it's a lot of fun. It's an homage to 80s horror films like Fright Night and Night of the Creeps and Creep Show, movies like that I grew up watching and really helped develop my love for the genre. So again, we really appreciate you taking the time to watch the movies. Hope you like them, and you can check them out on Amazon Prime as well as most of the other VOD avenues out there. And this is Tony Wash. You're watching Universe Retro on YouTube.
I do not agree.
Just quit.
Nobody covers 1986 like us. Channel 13.
Skeletons in the Closet, released in 2018, is an anthology-style film featuring multiple segments, but with a twist. This film features 2 wraparound segments. As the viewer, we see a young girl and her babysitter watching a late-night horror-style show with 2 hosts, a woman and her dead husband, who the woman murdered. The 2 hosts present horror movies and watch them in their basement. The hosts present the film, and as the viewer, we get to see the reactions of the babysitter and the young girl. It's a really cool idea that I've never seen before. The overall look of the movie and the segments is probably my favorite part of Skeletons in the Closet. It looks very 80s and glossy, but without looking forced, and the lighting is superb. I definitely get hints of Creepshow throughout. The acting is spotty, but for the most part really good. The young girl Jamie that we see watching the show is great at being a young horror fan, and the acting in the segments are better than expected. Throughout the movie and between segments, we see cool cable TV cuts and the commercials for things that play on this channel, featuring real footage from horror classics like House on Haunted Hill and some others. It really helps the realism and fun factor by including stuff like this. There are a total of basically 4 segments in Skeletons in the Closet. They're all really good, with my favorite segments being the first story, a story where a mother and daughter go to stay with their grandma. The grandma is very creepy and seems to be hiding a mystery. Throughout the segment, I really enjoyed the look and feel of everything. The special effects in this segment specifically are super good. My least favorite segment was probably the one that involved a crime and haunting style story, but it's definitely not horrible. I just wasn't as engaged as much in this one as I was in the other segments. Overall, I really enjoyed Skeletons in the Closet. It's got great content, fun stories, and kept my interest. It really dug into my nostalgia and my retro factor that I really like. The horror hosts were funny and they're entertaining, but at some points they were a little too much and should have been a little toned back, but that's alright. I still think the film's a definite watch if you're a fan of like 80s horror, Elvira and Horror Host, Creepshow, and other anthology horror movies in general. So definitely check out Skeletons in the Closet. I think you'll have a fun time with it. The Rake is a horror movie also released in 2018 from director and writer Tony Wash. The story follows the characters of Ashley and Ben, witnessing the murder of their parents as kids. Years later, Ashley still believes that it wasn't a human that killed their parents, and that the actual killer will come back. Based on a creepypasta story and also kind of a Wendigo story, the film delves into a lot of things. It's a drama, horror with touches of the psychological, and a creature feature. I wasn't involved with the story at all, and honestly I didn't care for any of the characters. The monster, however, is awesome. The special effects on the gore and the monster is so good that it actually made me want to finish this film. The acting is a mixed bag. Several characters did very well, and some were just not up to par and really took me out of the movie. The directing, lighting, and effects are far too good to be in this movie. By saying that, I mean the story isn't that good, and it seemed like it really wanted me to care, but I just didn't. I wish I could recommend this movie, and I do, but only for the monster and effects. The rest of the film is just not entertaining. If you're a fan of monsters and awesome effects, then check the movie out for sure. But if you're not into that kind of stuff, then this movie is probably best left on the shelf. Thank you guys so much for watching my mini reviews of Skeletons in the Closet and The Rake, both from director and writer Tony Wash from Scotchworthy Productions. If you're interested in checking out these films, both are available to stream on Amazon Prime. Also, make sure to check out the awesome horror flick It's My Party and I'll Die If I Want To, also written and directed by Tony Wash, a film I highly enjoyed. See you guys next time.